So the government in the UK have set out a white paper on employment. And I read it last night like a loser that I am. I found something in there that was quite astonishing. And I found some things that will hopefully give you an idea of what sectors, and me as well, to put most of my efforts into, that are going to get a lot of funding into. That are going to be one sectors that are going to be, okay, the government is pushing for companies, private and public, to hire in these. Meaning they're going to give them money, they're more likely to use agencies, and this makes a lot more sense. So earlier in this year, I said, before the news even broke, that nurseries are going to be the ones to look at, and people made a lot of money in that. I didn't really enjoy the sector. I made some placements, but then it sort of fizzled out. But in terms of that being said, we've got another sector that I think is going to start doing well, and that is mental health. So what it is, the government in the UK have seen there's a bunch of people, 2.8 million people, economically inactive. That means these people are not working and they're not claiming benefits. They're just not integrating into society, or for whatever reason. So what this means is that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of lost tax revenue. They want to get that number down to 80%, get those 80% of those people into work. So these could be people that have took early retirement, students, people that are just, I don't know, not working for whatever reason. I don't know. There could be plenty of reasons. They're on holiday, they're not here. So what they want to do is they've realized that 50% of those people are suffering from mental health issues stopping them working. Now, there's a massive backlog in the NHS. The NHS, in my opinion, just needs to be burnt down and started again because it's completely rubbish. And what they've realized is, look, mental health, if we get half of these people back into work, that's a lot of tax revenue that's going to come in. That's a lot more money in people's pockets. They're going to spend at businesses, then the government's going to get more tax, GDP is going to grow, etc. So in order to fix that problem, they need to hire people that can help. So they want to hire within the NHS. And I know for a fact the NHS will not hire these people. Yeah, they'll say, you give us more money and we'll hire. So what the government will do is, because these are temporary measures, they don't want to fund it forever. If you give the money to the NHS, they're going to use it every year and expect it every year. If you give it to a private sector and say, 1 year contract, what I want you to do, here's 20,000 people for that local authority or that local company, and I want you to keep them on your books, look after them for 1 year and get them better. Yeah, here's your money. We got some targets, meet them. So what will happen is the companies will say, okay, great, we'll take the money, and then they'll say to agencies, we need, 16 mental health nurses. I'll give you another example of this. PIP assessors are predominantly by private companies. They're not government run. Yeah, so I think it's called PIP. PIP assessors, the disability, it's disability assessors. And they're given to private companies. So they have to be a physiotherapist, a nurse. They're going to be ones that are going to be really, really in demand because the government want to reassess everyone as well. So these are things you can specialize in or look at. Now, I found those jobs very easy to hire for because nurses get an office-based job. It's very high pressured, but they do prefer it. And I found that's a job I could sell to a lot of nurses, and it was more money. Work from home a lot of the time as well. So looking at this, use it for food for thought. Now, I'll throw some other things in there. So early years is another one that's going to be sort of looked at as well. Service-based, there was a 20% growth in the service-based sector as well. So there wasn't really anything, how can I put it, that was majorly growing in the UK economy. It was just, this is where I think the money's going to flow and we need to recruit for it. There's also something about children's poverty, welfare, those sort of things. There's also a lot around transport. So getting the UK moving again is what their slogan is. And the most important one, and I think this is what actually should be fixed, is housing. So housing development is going to be massive. So the government have also got, this is separate to the white paper, they've also received more funding to give to local councils. Google it and you'll read better than I'm going to explain it right now. They gave money to local councils and they said, you need to fix homelessness. So they're just throwing money at it, thinking it's going to be a long-term gain. So I kind of understand what the government in the UK are doing. They're doing it about the wrong way, but I guess it's such a complex subject. But look, if they go and they say, look, build 20,000 more houses, if you're recruiting in that sector, yeah, whatever it is, that could be another one to look at. So housing, mental health, planning, architecture, everything around that is going to be in demand, especially moving forward, because these are all new builds. There's no supply of houses. It's not like we need estate agents to flog them. We need people to build the homes. So think, two sectors to summarize: buildings, anything around buildings, and mental health are going to be the two sectors I would recommend right now. And sorry, I've said it at the end of the video, but in all honesty, if you are looking to start an agency, or you're thinking, oh, it's a bit dry, because this year has been the worst year ever for recruitment. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone's lying. I'll be brutally honest. This is the worst revenue I've ever seen. And for the size of my agency and the drop in revenue, it's like ridiculous. But I kept saying every year, quarter one, I was like, oh, don't worry, it's going to get better in quarter two. Quarter two comes, still not better. Quarter three, quarter four, oh, it's, you know, it's our busiest period. It's busy at the moment, but not as busy as before. And I guess this comes with it. And I guess I was quite smart and I never overspent. And, you know, financially, I'm very well off. So fingers crossed. I mean, it's difficult to start now. I'm not going to lie, but, you know, there's opportunity. And when there's opportunity, if it was that bad, everyone would be out of business. And I'll be making videos on drop shipping or some other rubbish. So all the best and take care.